Francis Drake, sea captain, privateer, navigator, slaver, politician, and to the Spanish, a pirate. During the Elizabethan era, Drake was the second ever to circumnavigate the globe, and the first Englishman to do so. Drake's exploits were so grand that England regarded him as a hero. He was knighted by Queen Elizabeth I after returning to England in 1581. Drake is still known today as one of the most legendary privateers in history. Francis Drake was born sometime between 1540 and 1544 in Tavistock, Devonshire, England. He was the eldest of the 12 sons of Edmund Drake and Mary Mileway, and during the Prayer Book Rebellion in 1549, the Drake family fled to Kent. At the age of only 12, Drake started his sailing career. Drake's father apprenticed his son to his neighbor, a shipmaster who transported merchandise to France and other European countries. The shipmaster was so impressed with Drake's skills and conduct that he left the bark to Drake upon his death. This shows that Drake was a skilled sailor even in his youth. After selling the ship left to him, Francis Drake returned to Devon to sail with his relative John Hawkins. In 1567, Drake made one of the first English slaving voyages as part of a fleet led by Hawkins, bringing African slaves to work in the New World. All but 2 ships of the expedition were lost when attacked by a Spanish squadron, after which the Spanish became a lifelong enemy for Drake. In 1572, Queen Elizabeth I commissioned Drake as a privateer to sail to the Americas. In his first raid, Drake and his men captured the town and its treasure. He was injured during the battle and his men left the treasure to save his life. But, determined to capture a treasure shipment, Drake stayed in the area for almost a year, raiding Spanish shipping, through which he was never captured. In 1573, he joined a French buccaneer to attack a rich mule train. Drake and his party found that they had captured around 20 tons of silver and gold. When they arrived back to where they left the raiding boats, they were gone. With the Spanish not far behind, Drake then rallied his men, buried the treasure, built and sailed a raft back to the flagship with 2 of his men. The men there assumed the worst and asked him how the raid had gone. Drake could not resist the joke and teased them by looking downhearted. Then he laughed, pulled a necklace of Spanish gold from around his neck to show the crew. By August 1573, he returned to England with the Spanish gold and plunder. In 1577, Drake was again commissioned by the Queen. This time, however, Elizabeth wanted Drake to undertake an expedition to the Pacific coast of the Americas to disrupt Spanish supply lines. All written accounts of Drake's voyage was considered classified, and the crews on all 4 of the ships were sworn to secrecy. This was all done to keep the Spanish in the dark. Drake left Plymouth December 1577. He set off with 5 ships, but by the time he reached the Magellan Strait to cross into the Pacific, all that remained was his lone flagship, the Golden Hind, as the only ship to continue the voyage. Drake sailed north along the west coast of South America, attacking Spanish ships, ports, and towns. During this time, he captured a hefty load of gold, wine, and treasure. June 1579. Drake landed somewhere north of Spain's northernmost claim. He repaired and restocked his vessels, keeping friendly relations with the natives. He claimed land for the English crown and named it Nova Albion, which is Latin for New Britain. Drake headed across the Pacific and eventually reached a group of islands in the southwest Pacific. He sailed along the tip of Africa, rounding the Cape of Good Hope, and returned home. September 1580, the Golden Hind landed in Plymouth with a very rich cargo. Drake became known as the first Englishman to circumnavigate the Earth. Queen Elizabeth I awarded Drake knighthood aboard the Golden Hind on April 1581. War started to break out between Spain and England in 1585. Drake sailed again to the New World to raid Spanish ports. This encouraged King Philip II enough to order planning to invade England. Drake delayed the Spanish by a year by intercepting and destroying ships on the Spanish shipping lines. Drake was appointed Vice Admiral in command of the English fleet in 1588 against the Spanish Armada. He captured the Spanish ship Rosario and caused disarray overnight. Drake also organized fire ships and caused the majority of the Spanish captains to break formation and sail out into open sea. England went on to defeat the Armada, much thanks to Drake. Francis Drake continued sailing into his mid-50s. In 1595, Drake lost a series of battles against the Spanish in the New World. During a battle, the Spanish shot a cannonball through Drake's cabin. Though he survived that, Sir Francis Drake died of dysentery a few weeks later just off the coast of Portobello, Panama. He was buried at sea in a lead coffin, dressed in full armor. Francis Drake has many places that bear his name today, such as Drake's Bay and Sir Francis Drake Boulevard in California, and multiple places throughout England and the Virgin Islands. Some modern workings involving Sir Francis Drake include the 1961 series titled Sir Francis Drake. And also the 2009 American made-for-TV movie titled The Immortal Voyage of Captain Drake.
Father!
Isabella?
Eat from the tree and you will live forever.
He has my daughter.
What have you done?
Soon I will have my vengeance.
Drake has even impacted the video game industry. In the Uncharted series, the story follows a fictional descendant of his, Nathan Drake, as he uncovers secrets and lost treasure.
The map proves it. Drake sailed straight to Arabia.
City of immeasurable wealth.
The Atlantis of the Sands.
Drake's secret will be revealed. Come on! Find them, bring me the ring.
With all of his accomplishments during his life, Sir Francis Drake will continue to be remembered as one of the most successful privateers and navigators in history.